headache all yesterday, and I woke up, I still have it. First coffee. Feel better.
Smells good, eh?
It's a bit of a cold, cloudy day today, quite windy. And our plan today is to finish a structure around our campfire area. We're gonna build a nice covered area, sort of surrounding the fire, so that when it's raining and windy, we're a little bit less exposed, which will be nice. And then, as long as it doesn't rain too hard, we want to go and spot check some new areas on the burns surrounding where we're camping here, just to check to see where the mushrooms are at. That's our plan today. Hope you enjoy. Having a bit of a wind and rain event here. It just hit us. Putting up a tarp and then this rain hits us. It's crazy. Look at this. You're already soaked and wet. I gotta go check my tent. It's hailing now. Coming in sideways. I gotta close my fly. Woo! Some serious rain. Halfway done that structure, I'm gonna get hit by this weather. And Randy's in here getting the wood stove going so we can dry out, because it got soaked pretty fast here. Well, it got pretty crazy there for a minute. The Quonsets and all of our rigging got put to the test, so that was good. It all survived, nothing went flying. Everything's sort of tied together, so for one thing to go and fly away, everything would have to go. But that was some serious wind and rain. Still pouring, but we're gonna get dried out and then carry on with that build once the rain slows down. It's supposed to go down to 1 degree tonight, and we're soaked. Oh yeah. We'll close that up. And we'll just put the damper down about 70%, and that will make it burn a little slower and last longer. Oh, I'm already nice and dried out just from like 5 minutes in here. It's awesome. Have a bit of lunch and then we'll get back to work on our structure there.
Smoky pickles, onions.
Little view pointed from us, like
that.
You get to the end of the trail on the top of the cliff. There's that little like bonsai derby.
Tremendous.
Good looking smoky. It's hot in here. This was about 10 minutes ago. I was in here. Totally dry. Getting back to work on these structures now. Let's do this. Okay, we've finished our structures around our fire pit. So we can't go too close because the flames will just burn the tarp. So we've got a 2 or 3 foot gap here between here, and then we can sit under there, and if it rains, push our chairs back. This also controls the wind around the fire, which makes it a lot more convenient and a lot safer. And we've also covered this whole area and right over the trailer. So our security guard here in the trailer, Mr. Randy, will be dry And that's what it looks like from here. This is how we use bushcraft to extend our structures when we can't carry all that gear. This tarp will drain that way, this tarp will drain that way, and then this big tarp will drain right down off the back here, and it's just put onto a pole with a screw in the top and then a guy line in each way. It's sort of just hovering here, it can't move. So that's the main structure of our camp completed. Other than adding little adjustments here and there, I'd say camp is pretty much done. We're gonna try out our little oven that Alec and Alex have worked on here. Poplar bark chimney, look at that. And then here's our rain cover we use for the fire. We've also got these little guys we found. They've got a hole in each side so you can grab onto them with that chunk of metal, move them around, and then we can put coals in there and just reheat oatmeal in metal bowls or pots with coals down in the little cylinder. It's awesome.
Yummy, it smells delicious. Yum.
The weather sure changed for us here. It's pouring rain earlier and now it's beautiful. So check some more burn, look for some morels. Should always bring a compass with you. Even here in the Yukon where it doesn't get dark, it's good to have that just in case the batteries die on the GPS. I always bring one. So our plan is to go check some burn that we saw just down the road that looked a little bit ahead. And along our way, we'll just pop in and out of the bush and spot check the whole way down. This gravel pit over here we walked through 2 or 3 days ago, and there's now a big motorhome parked in there. That's definitely a morel picker. People are starting to show up slowly. Only a matter of time now. We're just walking along here and all of this is wild strawberry. It's just so abundant. It's amazing. As well, there's fireweed everywhere. You know, I've been eating this. Normally I wouldn't pick roadside, but for my own consumption, in a remote area like this, totally fine with me. Crossing over the Klondike Highway. Yeah, we spotted a zone over here from the road that looked to be a little further ahead. All the moss and the liverwort was really green when we were driving by. And that was this area coming up here. There are some fire cups here. It might just because it's so much wetter here. It's a waiting game at this point, but we have to keep looking like this.
Bit of a water drain.
For sure.
Here where it's like this quite a ways.
You know, every one of these trees here in this spot is all stunted boreal black spruce, in case you're wondering. The reason they're all twisted like this is because the permafrost under the ground is a little more severe in this area. You can see here, there's just a little bit of grass starting, and this is one of our indicators as well. This is where it hasn't burnt through the sphagnum peat moss, muskeg. So we want to see, even here, there's still some moss. If we start seeing grass like this, but in the burnt away areas where you can see ash and actual exposed soil, then it'll be a little more interesting. It's a pretty bad accident. Hope they were okay. That's rough. Oh man. So there's a little creek up ahead and they made a new bridge on it. And that's how much it cost to cross the creek. 20 mil. Come down a few feet in elevation, what, 10 feet, and there's some nice fire cups. That's what we wanted to see. Just want to find one morel so we can put it on the antenna of our truck like a carrot on a stick. lot more fire cups here. That's a good sign. Scattered all through these little burnt out areas. Yeah, I'm walking on the clumps of moss so I don't step where the mushrooms will grow. It's definitely looking closer than the last time we looked in the burn. We might have to go look at some other burns again to find earlier burns. We're just walking 2.5 kilometers back to camp. No morels, but we did find a bungee cord, which is actually pretty useful for us. Okay, we're just gonna burn down the hill below camp, run down there, check that ground, and then if there's no mushrooms there, we'll probably wait another couple days before we check again. Come back, have some dinner.
Some soup.
Yeah, we got soup already made. Looking forward to it.
The sun's come back out. Look at the blue sky, man. From that rainy, crazy wind and storm to this again.
Yeah, it's beauty.
This is beautiful.
It's really nice out.
Everything got moisturized.
Yep, including me.
For sure.
So it's nice and clear today. And we were scouting here 3 days ago, I think. But that whole flat down in the valley is very nice looking ground. Got to keep an eye on that. Some sort of can, a coffee tin, an old coffee tin. Not coffee in there anymore though. There's definitely more fire cups on these ledges than there was 3 days ago. That's a good sign. There's sort of like a band of muskeg swamp between us and what we think will be the patch. I'm not sure what type of monocot this is, but look at this. It's growing out of this sort of old grass clump, and it's survived the burn. It's got its little flowers. So this will be what will reseed this area with this species of monocot here. Pretty cool, these little clumps. If you've ever seen Lord of the Rings and they walk through those swamps of the dead or whatever, that's what these muskeg swamps are like. There's all these pools of water. You can fall into them. Some of them are deep and you don't realize it. We've come through the muskeg and now we're back into the nice looking section of burn here. And this area here, if you look, you have some orange topped trees like this one. There's orange needles. And then you've got some trees that are half burnt. So they've actually survived. They still have green on them like this one. But it meets the blackened burn. And on these transitions, they can be some of the most abundant morel ground you'll ever find. I've picked trees in ground like this, where it's like half orange needles and half green needles from the tree shedding its green needles. And I've picked over a basket around one tree. So that's 12 pounds around one tree. And these are some of the areas where you'll see that. It's not very common, but it does happen. And it's usually around half burnt, half orange, half green trees. The bane of morel picking is if the ground dries out. That's the case with most mushrooms. But you can see there are fire cups all through here. And the ground is wet. You see, when this dries out, it turns to like a dry, powdery ash. This is still like a nice, dark humus layer. It's not all just ash. It still has lots of moisture in it, so you can ball it up. So that's what we want to see. It just needs to warm up now. Whew. It's bubbling away. Yummy. Fireweed gomai. It smells amazing. Wow, that's really, really good.
Yeah, there's sesame, there's soy sauce, some peanut butter, just a real small sprinkle of brown sugar, and then a squirt of lemon.
It's excellent. It's really good.
It's killer, man.
Cheers.
Mmm.
It's awesome.
Yeah, it's really good.
So I've got a bit of an issue here with my handheld GPS, and I really use this thing heavily. Now, it is a great GPS. It's definitely paid for itself over the years, but both of the buttons that control turning it on and locking the screen have worn out and actually come out. And right now I can actually turn the GPS on and off using my knife, but that's not very practical. So not ideal, but hopefully bushcraft and technology can merge and it can fix my GPS temporarily. So what I've done is I've just made a little poker that's tied on there with some bank line, and I can just hit the buttons like that and like that. So there's my temporary solution so I can keep working here in the bush picking mushrooms. We just had some major wind come through here, and then we had a brief period of calm, and now look what's about to hit us. After all that nice sun, and now this dark cloud and cold breeze is coming through. I'm sure glad we got this area covered because it's supposed to rain for the next few days. And it's nice to be able to sit kind of near the fire and not be getting rained on. But I think it's time for bed for the night. It's starting to cool off. And it's already getting late here. You probably can't tell it's getting late because it's the Yukon. We're nearing the solstice now, but it's getting late. There's my camera in case a bear comes. I can check that bush cam from my phone if I hear something out here and check to see if it's a bear. And there's my luxurious bed with 3 sleeping bags. Permafrost under this ground here. It's really cold. Yeah, so I've got 3 sleeping bags. Big one, a medium one, and a small one. Telescopic. Keeps me warm at night. Join us in the next episode where we find the first morels of the season on a wildfire about an hour away from our camp. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like and subscribe to our channel for more. You can also check out our online shop linked in the description below. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.